Sunset in the summer, but it's also coyote time. Ugh. Nerve-wracking. Sometimes people come to me with an attitude, not their fault, it's cultural, I believe, of how can I fix this so I can get on with my life? And they don't want to hear, oh, it's going to take a couple of years to get balanced or to work on this. And I was thinking about that today because people get so discouraged. But I don't hear people say to me, how long will it take for me to get to the gym to get in shape so I can get on with my life? Implying, once I'm in shape, I don't have to go to the gym anymore. Whoops, hold on a second. Hoshi! Hoshi! Too far. Come on, good girl. Come. Good. Too far ahead. Ooh, good girl. Come on. Come here. Good girl. And people never, good, come, Pia, very good, good, okay. So I never see people have that attitude, which is right. I mean, you go to the gym to get in shape, and then you go to the gym to stay in shape. And now it's a lifestyle, rather than, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to lose weight, then I'm going to meet the mate of my dreams, get my dream job, and then I don't have to do any more work. I can watch television, go to work, make a lot of money, and eat whatever I want, and I'll never gain weight. It never happens. So talking to people about kind of like being a personal trainer for your soul instead of just for your body. How do you start to live in a way that helps you to continue to evolve and grow? Because we know one thing about Earth for sure. Change is constant. Change is guaranteed. Things are either going to get better or they're going to get worse. They never stay the same. So healing and being on a spiritual journey is, for me, creating a lifestyle for now. And then when you reach a certain level of healing, and let's say you're working on psychic tools. Oh, you get psychic, you do energy work. You're still going to change and develop. So your lifestyle will have to continue to change and grow. Your tools will change and grow. They either get better or worse. If you have untreated wounds, they will surface. They will surface in your psychic work. They will surface in your emotional life. They will definitely surface in your mental and physical health. So I try to approach people who they come and they want kind of a blessing to make everything be okay so they can get on with their marriage or get on with their sex life or get on with their career. And I can't endorse that approach because to me it's selling a myth. It's selling a fantasy. What I can do with people is talk about this part of the trail, like you're hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, which takes months if you do it straight out all the way from Mexico to Canada. Hoshi! Hoshi! Come back here. Come. I saw a big fat coyote here the other day. So if you're hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, here's what this part is like. And there's a waterfall and you go swimming and it's in Mexico and it's the warm part. But you have to look out for heat stroke and sunburn and dry rocks, and you need a certain kind of shoe that's good for the terrain. Uh-oh. Come! Hang on a second. There's a coyote. Good girls. Come on. That was a bad coyote. Good dogs. Bad coyote. Very bad coyote was there. Yeah, in your favorite place. We have to go back. Come on. I know people yell at me for taking my dogs out, but I also know people walking their dogs on leashes and having them swiped by a coyote. So I take my dogs out and trust my eagle eye and my senses and my awareness to keep them safe. Please don't criticize me. I need animals to be animals, and dogs need to run, not just walk on a leash. That's my take on it. You don't have to agree with me. So back to getting readings and help and energy work. This is why I say a teacher's job is to become obsolete. However, a trail guide is someone you might want to constantly check in with, because the trail will change. I study with my teacher. I study with other people still. I get help from other people. My path changes all the time. So we want to get tools and learn how to hike the warm part of the trail, and then maybe you're going to hit the trail. It's going to be the rainy season, and it's going to be wet and disgusting and whatever, but given the whole journey and the weather and the time of year you can go, maybe this is the best you can do. So instead of 5 months of rain, you'll have 2 months of rain, but it's going to be rain. You need different gear, different shoes, a different strategy for hiking, etc. Different dangers to look out for, different beautiful things to see. But the New Age, which I think is now a religion to me is other people telling you how to feel, think, and believe about God, the Creator, the universe, whatever you call spirit. And I don't like any of that. I like people to find their own way of talking to Source and their own way, of developing their higher power and working with kind of that triad of here's me incarnated and all my parts that are involved in this lifetime, my higher self, which is in parts work they would call it self with a big S, and Source, which is something different than us, though we are a part of it. It is a bigger intelligence and a bigger love force. Learning to develop these things, to me, is spirituality, and it's a lifestyle, and there is no getting there. The idea is that you want to be there a little bit or a lot every day, whether the trail is rainy or hot and dry or a steep climb, meaning I want to enjoy the journey more, and I want to be more in that triad energy, which is that my parts are feeling cared for and heard and addressed, and my higher self is leading the pack, and the whole package of parts and self work in tandem with Source, which is something, a force that takes us where we can't even imagine going. We can't even pray for it. We can't imagine the relationship with it even, because it is beyond earthly definition. That's how I experience it. And yet, it is a force. Sometimes people will come to me and say, I want a reading about we're a magical couple and we just met and life is going to be great and we want to hear from you how great it's going to be. And I will find a way to not do that reading, because what if I have to talk to them about the trail instead of telling them what they want, which is how great it's going to be? And if I tell them how great it's going to be, that makes more money than tuning into the message that I am given to give people. So it's not very commercially successful, but sure makes my heart feel whole and makes me sing inside, because I know how much I wished for people to be straight with me instead of selling me hope or motivation or another feel-good tool that works for a while but doesn't address what's underneath whatever's going on with me. So I spent in the beginning a lot of years learning lots of tools. It's kind of like learning every single way to get in shape except by going to the gym. You get an electronic machine, you use a far infrared, you use sauna, you sweat. I don't know, I'm making stuff up here, but you get the idea that people can sell you all this stuff when really what you got to do is just go to the damn gym. And at first it might suck, but after a while you love the gym and you love working out. So the same thing with self-growth, the same thing with our soul path. In the beginning, learning about it can suck a bit, like, oh, you're not going to meet a prince or a princess, you're not going to own an island, you're not going to be fabulously wealthy, and all the great things you think goes with that, which never does go with that. But when you really get in touch with why you came here, you can get behind your hero's journey. It's your journey. You are a hero. Everybody who comes here has the opportunity to be a hero. And with every reading, there is a high path and a low path, meaning here's what you can achieve, and here's what will happen if you abandon yourself, betray yourself, and sort of cave into the seduction of earth, which is basically sex, drugs, rock and roll. And now we need to add to that influencer on social media, etc. You get the picture. And then there's a lot in the middle. So to me, this is what we want to learn, is like, what's the highest I can achieve? What's the danger? Like, what's the lowest that can happen to me, given who I am, given this part of the journey? And what are all the options in the middle? Because a lot of life happens in the ups and downs in the middle. And remember, everything changes. So if you hit a high point, guaranteed, you won't stay there forever. Just like you hit a low point, you won't stay there forever. I do love this kind of work, but it is also challenging now. Less so in the 70s and the late 60s, when a lot of this was starting off and people were very interested in growth. And now it seems to have morphed into answers, because that creates more capital for the businesses, the new age businesses. All right, signing off. Remember, 30-minute introductory session on Zoom. Go to drmarie.org and schedule it, drmarie, MARIE.org. And wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you remember to be your own best friend.